What if gym leaders in Hoenn could use Pokemon from the entire Pokedex? Of course, they would be limited to their type, but other than that, they can use any Pokemon within that type. Also no legendaries or special Pokemons like that. But I've done this before for Kanto and Johto, and here is Hoenn. The first gym leader is of course Roxanne. We're gonna be comparing with the Ruby and Sapphire team, but include Emerald there as well sometimes. Roxanne's team is a Geodude and Nosepass. I've never really felt like this fits her, maybe Nosepass a little bit, but not Geodude, it's just a random rock type. They could have picked another rock type. Her Pokemons are Rockruff and Relicanth. I thought it was really funny having these, because they both start with R, just like Roxanne. Rockruff is of course because she likes hunting for special and interesting rocks for her collection, and Rockruff would be very helpful with this. Rockruff could help digging, could help finding these rocks, could help sniffing them out if they smell anything, but also just be a fun Pokemon to have around. I feel like a rock dog matches her very well. And then Relicanth, it's a rare rock type that she would love to have and to just find. I believe that she would have gone out and found this Relicanth, maybe while searching for rare rocks, and then ended up in a cave with water in it, and there is Relicanth. Also, I'm surprised it didn't have this or any of the fossil Pokemon, so I wanted to give Relicanth to her. The fossils are used by multiple trainers and by her later in either rematches or stronger trainers. So I chose Relicanth because it's almost not used at all, and I think it works. It might be strong, but Rockruff is kinda weak, and strength doesn't matter that much to me in this. And it especially doesn't matter when the Pokemon is a single stage. Next up, we have Brawly. Brawly's team is Machop and Makuhita. He does get Meditite in Emerald, but I'm surprised he didn't have this in Ruby and Sapphire instead of the Machop. It is a little bit of a boring team, the Makuhita fits him, but other than that, it fits him okay. Brawly's team is gonna be Mienfoo and Grapploct. Mienfoo looks like he would stand on a surfing board, and we do know that Brawly loves surfing, and that's his whole thing. And it also has a little bit of a similar color scheme to some of his designs. But then we have Grapploct, which I feel like makes a lot of sense. It is a water-based Pokemon. Surprisingly, it's not water, but it would make sense for him for surfing around. And Grapploct could also surf around for sure. And they have a similar vibe as well, and I feel like they match very well. I just think Grapploct is quite perfect for Brawly. I could definitely see them surfing around together and also training together. And I feel like this is one of the most perfect Pokemons here in this video. Next up, we have Watson. Watson's team is Magnemite, Voltorb, and Magneton. What were they thinking? What do you mean only Gen 1 Pokemon? Stop being obsessed with Gen 1. Genuinely so stupid. Of course, his Emerald team is Voltorb, Electrike, Magneton, and Manectric. And I'm surprised he didn't get the dogs earlier, or any other electric type. There are other electric types than the ones from Gen 1. They could have even picked Gen 2. But I will change this around a lot, of course. Watson is this happy electric guy, and he's gonna have Yamper, Helioptile, and Bellibolt. I feel like the dogs he of course should have because they're the electric types, but they don't really match him that well. And I feel like Yamper is a way better dog for him. It is this happy electric dog, and he is known to be cheerful, so it matches him very well. And I can just see him having this little Yamper. Then we have Helioptile, which is a scared electric type, especially in the anime. He could definitely help it be less scared, and it could trust him. And because he is so cheerful and happy, it would work for him very well. But then of course we have Bellibolt, which again is one of the ones that I feel like in this video fits the best. Because Bellibolt works so well for him. They're both big, happy, round electric guys with a little bit of a similar color scheme. And they do have a similar vibe. It just fits him perfectly. And I would love to see Watson have a Bellibolt. I think it works perfectly. Next up we have Flannery. Her team is Slugma and Torkoal. Why does she have two Slugmas? They really wanted to make that joke. And then in Emerald she does get a better team, which is Numel, Slugma, Camerupt, and Torkoal. He finally gave her the Pokemon with volcanoes, which I'm surprised she didn't get before since she lives very close to a volcano. And we will of course change it around, and there are so many Pokemons that could fit her. Flannery's new team is gonna be Torracat, Ninetales, and Volcarona. I am surprised to add Torracat. I wanted to try to add as few starters as possible, but Torracat just works so well. I think it fits her so well. Similar colors, similar vibes, just works really well. Her personality feels like it works so well with Torracat. Torracat also just feels like a cat she would have, and I could really see them next to each other. And then we have Ninetales. Again, it feels like it fits her. And seeing them also next to each other also just fits. I also see the hair and the tails. Flannery's hair just being everywhere and being a lot. And then the tails being 9 tails. And the final one is of course Volcarona. Of course she lives close to a volcano, and Volcarona sometimes live in a volcano. It's of course called Volcarona, volcano, Volcarona, volcano, you get it. And again, a little bit of similar colors, and they feel like they just fit. I feel like Volcarona is quite perfect for her, and I would love to see her have a Volcarona. It's quite a strong team for the 4th gym, but it's fine since there's only 3 Pokemons on the team. Next up, we have Norman, and he has 2 Slackings and a Vigoroth, which is insane. That will just one-shot every single Pokemon. It does change in Emerald, of course, with a Spinda and a Linoon added, and a Slacking taken off from the team. I do think this is better. His new team is Mousehold, Persian, Warchog, and Braviary. He is of course the parent of the player. And what better than Mousehold? He is a father. And that Pokemon is a family. The only difference is that Mousehold is the entire family and Norman left his family. Then we also have Persian, which is basically just gonna be the house pet. He's a regular dude, he needs a regular cat, a regular pet. And Persian is perfect for that. He's literally named Norman, normal man. And that goes into Warchog perfectly, which is based on a safety vest or a traffic directing uniform or something like that. Could be both, but it's a regular job matching a regular dude. And it just matches, you know? They do kind of stand similar. And then we finish off on Braviary. It's an American bird for an American man. It's a joke because he obviously isn't American, but I thought it was kind of funny. But it actually just fits in perfectly, and I think it works very well. And they do have a little bit of a similar vibe. The normal man with the American bird. Perfect. If you watched this far, please feel free to like and subscribe. It helps a lot. We just reached 200 subscribers, which I'm very thankful of. You're welcome to join my Discord server as well, and follow me on Twitch, link in the bio. I stream a lot and do a lot with the community in the Discord server. Tomorrow we're actually doing a Jackbox event in the Discord server, and I will stream it. Next up, we have Winona. Her team is Swallow, Pelipper, Skarmory, and Altaria. The first actual good or okay team. But her new team is gonna be Oricorio, Sensu style, Crobat, Aerodactyl, and Corviknight. First off, we of course have Oricorio. I obviously chose this form because of similar colors, but I feel like Oricorio in general would fit her. It's a dancing fun bird that I think she would like, and this version of course matches her the best. And I thought it was really cool with a flying ghost type. Next up is of course Crobat. It might say she is a bird user, but she doesn't just use birds. A very obvious thing about that is of course Tropius, and maybe even Skarmory, which is more of a dinosaur looking guy. And Altaria is a dragon, I guess. But what I mean is she could still use other flying types, and Crobat is again similar colors to her. And I wanted a little bit diversity from the birds, and not just choose birds. And I feel like it matches her as well, and would be really cool. I could really see them flying together during the night. Now we have Aerodactyl, which I thought was really interesting because obviously it's not a bird again. But Aerodactyl would have been an ancient flying type, which she would be very interested in. We would also be able to counter any good Pokemon for her A's, like any fire type. And again, Aerodactyl is a similar color and a little bit of a similar vibe. I didn't expect to make all of them have a little bit of a similar color to her. It just kinda happened. But then of course we have Corviknight. And Corviknight and her just fit perfectly together. She is a tough flying type user, and Corviknight is a cool and tough flying type. And it is the best bird for her in my opinion. I also think she's the best gym leader to have Corviknight. It also replaces Skarmory quite well. And it's a great Pokemon that she could ride on and fly around on. I could really see that, and I could just see them together. I really hope we get a game with them together. I think that would be awesome. Next up, we have the siblings, Tate and Lysa. Like I've said in the other videos, the first 2 gym leaders is gonna have 2 Pokemons, then 3 and 4 is gonna have 3 Pokemons, then 5 and 6 are gonna have 4 Pokemons. and the number 7 will have 5 Pokemons. But the problem here is that Tate and Lysa is a double battle and they're 2 trainers. And their original teams were just Lunatone and Solrock, which is so surprising. What do you mean? We just had 4 Pokemons on the other trainer and here we have 2? And then in Emerald they do get Sawtooth and Claydol, but that's still only 4 Pokemons, which feels so little. For the 7th gyms especially. So I came up with a little bit of an idea. There is a Psychic type that I believe fit them very well. That is 1 Pokemon. It has 2 heads, but that's gonna be the final Pokemon. So their teams are both Meowsticks, of course, Gallade and Gardevoir, and their final one, Farigiraf. I felt like Girafarig was a little bit too weak, and I thought of adding it as their first Pokemon. But I think it's cool that it is their final Pokemon. That when both of them have no Pokemon left, they would have only option to throw out Farigiraf as their final Pokemon, and they would both control it. Maybe control each head in a way. And obviously when it's evolved, they're kinda the same head, but they're still different, with different eyes and all of that. But let's go over the other Pokemons before I continue talking about Farigiraf. We have both of the Meowsticks, which is so obvious. Male and female Meowstick is perfect for them. Literally a Pokemon made for them perfectly. And it works so well. It is again one of the ones that just fits the best, and these are Pokemon literally made for them. I need to see them together. Then we have Gallade and Garchomp, which also is Pokemon that works so well for them. I think Meowstick works better still, but Gallade and Gardevoir is also just perfect and is so fantastic for them. And I could really see them have these Pokemon and you would fight them and it would be kinda difficult. Having that combo would be difficult. I would also love to see that before they throw out any other Pokemon, you have to defeat the 2 Pokemon that they use. So at first Meowsticks can only help each other, and then when they both have lost, they will throw in Gallade and Gardevoir, and when they have gone down, they will throw out Farigiraf, which is gonna be the final Pokemon, and it just works so well. I kinda already talked about it, but I love that it works for them as the 5th Pokemon. And they could both control it because they have 2 heads, but they could also just in general both control it. And maybe even they could get 2 attacks. Maybe that's a little bit unfair, but if we can use 2 Pokemon at the same time because it was a double battle, then maybe that's fair. And maybe Gardevoir could have set up Trick Room before. And then we have the final gym leaders, Hoenn and Wallace. They're obviously the final gym leaders in different games. Wallace is the Ruby and Sapphire, and Hoenn is in Emerald. And we will of course only take Wallace's team off of the gym leader team and not the champion team. That will be in another video. But I thought it was really interesting because both of them have 3 Pokemons that are the same. And since it's the final gym leaders, they're gonna have 6 Pokemon. So they're gonna have 3 of the same and 3 of their own. But Wallace's team is Luvdisc, Celio, Seaking, Wishcash, and Milotic. And Hoenn's team is Luvdisc, Wishcash, Celio, Crawdaunt, and Kingdra. So, their new team, the 3 Pokemon that they're each gonna have, it's gonna be Alola Mola, Gastrodon, but they're gonna have 1 form each, and then Wishiwashi. I felt Alola Mola was perfect for a replacement for Luvdisc, and Gastrodon was a perfect replacement for Wishcash. I also think they both just fit them both in very interesting ways. And then Wishiwashi, it's such a cool Pokemon and such an interesting Pokemon that I needed it here. A Pokemon that strong in the final battle makes sense to me, and they both having it is of course really cool. And the whole thing with the Schooler form works so well, and I think it would be awesome with them. But okay, the rest of the teams, Wallace is gonna have Dugong, while Hoenn is gonna have Cloyster. And this both works really well. They're water ice types, and Cloyster is a bit stronger, but I think that's fine. And this works very well to replace Celio, them both having a water ice type works fantastic. And I think I chose the ones that fit them the best as well. Dugong is more of a beautiful one, and Cloyster can still be beautiful, but still a little bit of different and more of a similar vibe of the Pokemons that Hoenn have had. Then we have Lumineon and Pyukumuku. Because Cloyster was so strong and Lumineon still isn't stronger than Cloyster, I feel like Pyukumuku works well in strength to make it balanced between both teams, so they're both about similar strength. I've said that it doesn't really matter that much with strength, but I still want to try to focus on it sometimes. But Lumineon is perfect for Wallace. It is so beautiful and such a cool Pokemon and would work with Wallace so well in all of his contests. And Pyukumuku feels like it also fits Hoenn in a way, but it's not perfect, but I still think it works. And then the final 2 Pokemons for these 2. I said earlier with the starters that I didn't want to use too many starters, but I could not ignore this because it's literally perfect. Wallace with Primarina and Hoenn with Empoleon. Wow, that just fits perfectly. Primarina is so beautiful and so fantastic and is a perfect replacement for Milotic. And I could really see Wallace have a Primarina. It just fits perfect. And of course, because I gave him a starter, I had to choose a starter for Hoenn as well. And then I found Empoleon, and Empoleon works even better for Hoenn than Primarina works for Wallace. Look at them. They look so similar. The clothing of Hoenn looks so similar to Empoleon. They work perfectly together. Empoleon is a Pokemon for him, and I would love to see these two starters with these two trainers, because it's genuinely just perfect. They're made for each other. It's crazy because I am so happy with so many of the final Pokemons of all of these gym leaders, because it feels like they fit them perfectly, and they really do. But that is all of the gym leaders in Hoenn with teams if they could use Pokemon from the full Pokedex. And like I said, this felt so perfect, and it felt like I found Pokemon that fit so well. I hope you agree with me, and I hope you like this video. So if you do, please feel free to subscribe and like the video. And please comment what you thought about all of this and some of your ideas for these gym leaders. And let me know, of course, if you disagree with me. I would love to hear about it. But other than that, you can watch a video right here about Pokemon that could be Ultra Beasts, or should be Ultra Beasts. And right here you can watch the Johto video. So thank you all for watching. Please feel free to like and subscribe, join my Discord server, and follow me on Twitch, link in the bio. So see you guys in the next one. Have a great rest of your night, day, morning, or wherever. Peace out, and don't forget to follow.